Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike here from the Focus Garage, and there's nothing better than waking up at 6 a.m. and deciding that you want to drive from the Atlantic Ocean all the way back to Chicago. Now, before I get too far into the video, let me explain what's going on here. As you may have seen a few months ago, I purchased a Corvette Grand Sport, and Andre and I drove that 8 hours back from Nebraska back to the Chicago suburbs. Well, before I bought my Volkswagen MK7 GTI, which ironically I just called one of my favorite daily drivers ever a couple videos ago, I was looking for a very particular spec Audi S3. Before I settled on getting a GTI, I just couldn't find the S3 that I wanted with the color, the options, miles, price, everything like that. So I bought the GTI, saved myself a little bit of money. Fast forward a few years later here, Audi S3s have just further depreciated, and wouldn't you know it, one popped up due to freaking Facebook groups. So a buddy and I are about to catch a flight to Newark, which is basically the Atlantic Ocean, and as long as everything's good, we're gonna be driving that car all the way back the 13 hours to the Chicagoland suburbs. So let's go ahead and kick off this video and see where today takes us. Well, we really didn't get to film much of that road trip just because of the rushed nature of the way that things happened. We pretty much flew into the airport where the owner of this car picked us up from the airport. He then followed us while we drove to a Walgreens in a town nearby, kind of outside of the airport, to kind of test drove the car there, made sure everything was good, and then that is where we finalized the deal. From there, my friend Eric and I took this baby on a 13-hour road trip all the way from the Atlantic Ocean back to the Chicagoland suburbs. And let me tell you, there's no better way to get an initial shakedown of a car than in a 13-hour, roughly 900-mile or so road trip. So here it is, it's back, it's mine, it's my 2016 Audi S3, the only logical move to go from when you've got a Mark 7 or a Mark 7.5 GTI is to go for a Golf R or go for an S3. Now, a little story about me, as I said earlier in this video, that I wanted this car in this exact spec before I bought my GTI. I couldn't find one, so I settled and I got a GTI. And when this came up, I wasn't even looking. I was just browsing Facebook in one of the groups that I'm in, and I saw this car come up for sale. So a little bit about this car. It's an Audi S3, obviously. It's in Sepang blue, or Sepang, however you want to say that. And it's got a few different options that were very, very important to me. Back when I wanted an S3, I wanted it to be Sepang blue. I wanted it to have the LED lighting package. So we've got the LED headlights, full LED, and then LED interior. And then we've obviously got the black optics package, so the black grille, body colored mirrors, black trim along the windows there and everything like that. But the biggest feature that I wanted when buying one of these is right there, baby, those sports seats. Now, if you know these S3s, especially these earlier ones, these sports seats are very, very hard to find. So when I saw a Sepang blue S3 that had the sports seats in it, I needed it. You know, I literally just had no choice but to go for this car. So that's how we ended up with it, and here we are. We've got, obviously, these are just the winter wheels. I know that the black optics package comes with the 19s. Those are not on the car right now. We've just got some VW GTI wheels, which is hilarious because that's what I got rid of to get this car. And I sold it to Carvana, so I'll be making a video about that experience and how that was in the future, kind of selling the GTI to Carvana. But we've got these GTI wheels on some brand new Continental tires here, so these will get me through the winter, and then we'll go ahead and either put the 19s on the car, or we'll go ahead and we'll put my new speeds from the GTI on the car in the summertime. So we'll deal with that. But this car shows itself immaculately clean. I mean, this was one of the things. I mean, it's very, very scary to drive across the country or fly across the country and then drive a car back when you're purchasing it. And I gotta give the seller credit. I've never dealt with anybody private party that has been more forthcoming than the guy that I bought this car from. He sent me detailed pictures of absolutely everything, was very, very upfront with anything about the car, and was probably as meticulous and as OCD of an owner as I am, which is very, very weird to see, to say the least. And you know that I couldn't just buy one of these stock, so this one is actually a stage 2 car. So we've got an access port with ECU tune and a DSG tune. We've got a downpipe on the car. We've got an intake. We've got some motor mount inserts. The Haldex service has been done. The DSG service has been done. There's paperwork for everything. The only thing this car really needs to fully kind of get use of what it's got is a upgraded intercooler. It doesn't have one of those yet, so that may be something that we look to do in the future. A little dumb thing about the car, it does have the OEM Quattro stickers, which everybody knows this car is not really a Quattro. It's a Haldex based system, but I think that's hilarious that we've got the Quattro stickers on the car there. Give another peep of the interior there. And then you've got the dumb little screen that'll pop up out of the dash there. But these sports seats, man, oh, that is where it's at. It even carries on into the back seat there, so you can see you've got the, you know, the white cross stitching. And the coolest thing is with that is it follows through everywhere. It's on the steering wheel, it's on the center console, it's on the side of the shifter, it's on the shift boot itself. It's really, really neat the way they've got that. Oh, and then also another great option this car has is the Bang & Olufsen sound system. So we've got the B&O sound system. It sounds absolutely great. Super stoked to have that in this car. We've got the weather text already. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of just a quick little walk around about it. We'll do some driving impressions, some driving videos once we get the time. But I did it. I got the Audi S3 that I wanted 3-4 years ago, and I paid a lot less than what this car would have cost new. I believe this car is stickered for $53,000 or $54,000. So I'm just kind of showing you guys the car now, and I'll go ahead and update you when I go ahead and get back home. I know I kind of ended the last clip there with telling you guys that I'd keep you guys updated when I got the vehicle home and kind of talk to you about it that way there. But clearly I failed and I never went ahead and did that. So I just kind of wanted to close out this video here and give you my overall thoughts and feedback on finally owning my dream spec 2016 Audi S3. The biggest thing that I've been telling anybody who's asked about this is that I regret not doing this sooner. The biggest downside you'll hear when people compare a Golf R or S3 to a GTI is that you feel the added weight and the car is not as tossable, which is a term I love to throw around here when reviewing vehicles. And while that is true, you do feel the little bit of added weight and the car has lost some of its livelihood. What you make up for in cornering abilities and traction far outweighs that, in my opinion. The grip that you get when you accelerate from a launch with this car, you no longer have to worry about wheel hop and, you know, just spinning and hopping from your first two gears. You no longer have to worry about the car spinning as you're trying to come out of a corner quick or anything like that. The car just puts down the power and it does it in a very efficient and grip-filled manner. And mind you, this is on skinny winter tires on cold pavement. If the car can hook up and grip this well now, I can't even imagine how this vehicle is going to feel once I get it out in the summer and really experience what this car is capable of on some sticky summer tires. So I'm super stoked for that. This car does have the magnetic ride suspension, which I don't think I mentioned in the previous video clip. And let me tell you, that has exceeded my expectations as well. Going into the Magna Ride, I wasn't sure if it was going to be that much of a difference from the stiff suspension on my GTI or anything like that. But holy cow, let me tell you, it makes such a difference whether this car is in dynamic mode or comfort mode. And you find yourself going over pavement expansions and just bumps and dips in the road that you're kind of like wincing and you're ready to boom, you know, bottom out the suspension on. And the car just glides over it and you don't even feel it half the time. So that's super nice. That's very, very pleasing. I hope those shocks never go bad because from what I've seen, I think they're like $750 a shock. But while they're working now, they're absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people are weary of the 2015s and 2016s. Some of them have been known to have Haldex issues, but this car has got very, very religious service paperwork for it, and the car shows no signs of Haldex failure. You launch this car hard, there is no wheel spin, the car grips up and it goes. So that's something I'll keep you guys updated on as well there. But overall, I absolutely am blown away with the car. It is always a crapshoot, I guess, when you're buying a car from all across the country from a private party. You don't really know what you're getting until you're able to go out there, see the car, and then decide whether or not you're going to bring it back or not. And it's always the biggest fear of mine is like going out there and then the vehicle's not as described and you've got to get a flight back home and you're coming back empty-handed, which again is better than buying a bad car, but at the same time, total waste of your time and money and everything like that. So glad we were able to get this car. I'm glad we were able to bring it back, and I'm super glad we were able to have a successful road trip on the way home. We did it all in one straight shot, no hotels. I think we stopped for fuel maybe like 3 times or something like that. We were home around midnight, 1 a.m. By the night we got home. So we were really efficient on road tripping this car. We were getting probably, I think, 26, 27 miles per gallon on the highway. And that was with some obviously more excitable driving, some acceleration pulls. You know, we have to make sure the car works, obviously. So we were testing that out there. But that's going to wrap it up. I don't want to get too much into what I think of the car and how it drives and everything like that. I just kind of wanted to sum up the road trip here and everything like that. So tune in to future videos about this car. The GTI has been sold to Carvana. I'm going to have a follow-up video on that, on how that experience went. And a little teaser there. It was absolutely amazing. I recommend this if you do have a newer kind of model car here where they can retail it themselves. But yeah, on that note, we're going to wrap up this video. Be on the lookout for a POV driving video with thoughts and impressions of the S3, as well as just maintenance and mods on that car as well. So the GTI is gone. The S3 is entered. Drop it down in the comments below what you think of this trade here, this maneuver. Did I move backwards? Did I move forwards? In the short term that I've owned this, I already like this a lot more than my S4 that I had, just because of the basis that this car is more fun to drive. You know, it's smaller, kind of more nimble, whereas the S4 is a little bit bigger, a little bit more boaty feeling. But anyways, enough of my thoughts. I'm going to end this video here. Go ahead and make sure you are subscribed to us for more S3 content and all other types of content in the future coming your way. This is Mike from the Focus Garage, and you guys have a great day.